What's up, everybody? This is Peter again for Sports Hot Rumors and Debates. How are you guys today? Guys, today we're going to talk about one of the best cornerbacks in the last 10 years. And this man, ever since he came into the league, has been just incredible, okay? This guy is one of those guys where when he is on, he really can just make such an impact in the game. And this is for you Arizona Cardinal fans. I'm a diehard Cardinal fan. That's Patrick Peterson, okay? Patrick Peterson, we are going to break this down right now. I made a video a while ago talking about there's no way they should ever trade Patrick Peterson because what would you get for him at this point, right? He has a big contract, and then he didn't have a great year last year. Obviously, you know about the performance-enhancing drugs, and you know about the problems. He was requesting trades, all these different things. But before that, this guy was just an amazing player, right? Everybody is allowed to have a bad time. He has been apologetic for what he's done. Water under the bridge to me. But here's the deal. A lot of fans came out and said to trade this guy, and I'm just like, why, right? Why would you do that? Right now, you improved the team so much, but you have a guy who's going to be 30 in July, right? He has a lot of years left. I would say probably 3 to 4 years, pretty much 4 good years left. So why the hell would you even trade this guy, right? For me, this is his chance at redemption. This is his chance at playing one of the best things you can do with a really great defense around him now, great players, because honestly, some years wasn't his fault. You can't expect an amazing player to play with some guys who honestly don't play well and a bad defense, and then when the offense wasn't doing well, this guy was on the field. So a lot of it didn't show how great he is. If you watch Patrick Peterson last year, his last 3 games was fantastic. Even Steve Krimsey, he said it. That was the Patrick Peterson we all know. So you got to understand, he didn't get the chance to play, right? The guy was completely suspended, and it takes time to get back into it. And he showed what he can do. So now, knowing that he's not signed anywhere else, how do you think Patrick Peterson is going to play? He has a chip on his shoulder. He has to prove it to himself and everybody else. Patrick Peterson will be, if not probably the comeback player of the year. That is how great he will be this year. And I'm not sure how Arizona is going to go about that. If he plays amazing, do you continue? Do you sign him? Do you extend him for another 3 or 4 years? For me, I would if he plays great. Just for the fact that this guy knows the team, he's been around, and he's showed what he can do. He made a mistake, right? Everybody makes mistakes. He owned up to it like a man. He did request a trade. He made some things. He said it. He was frustrated. How many times all of us in our lives has been frustrated with our job or anything? We say things. It's okay. We all do it. Not everybody could be Larry Fitzgerald and be perfect on and off the field, you know? This guy has proved to us and put his freaking neck on the line so many times, playing the best receivers in football and shutting a lot of them down most of the time. So Patrick Peterson deserves a complete second chance with us. He will show us this year why he's one of the best cornerbacks to ever play this game. And when he does, then Arizona can sign. Now, I know depending on the money, he may have to take a little bit less. He's probably not going to get as much. You know, when you're in your 30s and it's a little bit different, he has a lot to prove. But if he shows this year that he can shut people down and play like the old Patrick Peterson, why wouldn't you sign him, right? Why wouldn't you? You still can find a way to get the money. Guys like that are very hard to come by. And you need that veteran cornerback to be with these other guys, right? You need it for the younger players coming up. So if I'm Arizona, everything is forgiven, right? Let him sit there, let him go on the field and prove to everybody that last year was a problem. That's all behind him. I know he's been on record and said the sky's the limit and all this stuff, but he even said he's not the guy to be like, watch, you'll see. Let his game do the talking. His game will do the talking. That man is so, I've watched this guy shut down receivers, and honestly, receivers in their prime, top receivers, and Arizona's defense wasn't even great at the time. You know, so imagine what it's like to be now with guys like Isaiah Simmons and Chandler Jones all together and Murphy in his second year. That will make things a lot better. With the free agent signings, Albert coming back, all these different things is going to help everything. If I'm Arizona, right, I try not to talk about the contract, try not to mention it. If I'm Patrick Peterson, don't say anything. The more you people get in his face and talk about the contract, what are you going to do? Let his game do it. And then if it towards the middle of the year, if it's towards the end and he's playing unbelievable and you know he's a key part, then you start getting into it. But Patrick has a lot to prove to himself. Forget everybody else. He has a lot to prove to himself on the field. And I'll tell you, man, there's nothing like having a shutdown cornerback. And we have a great cornerback coming back from an injury. So if you have two great cornerbacks like that playing on side by side to go with an amazing defense that you have and all these guys, Vance Joseph has everything to work with, right? He has everything. And if they could put this together, what I'm loving about this is so many people are hyping them up now, right? The Cardinals, they're hyping this team up, and Arizona is not letting it get to their head. They know they're not Cleveland. They're not talking shit. They know they have a lot to do. They're doing it with confidence, saying, you know what, we know we're great, but we have to still do it on the field. And that is guys like Patrick Peterson's voice talking. That's why you need that. You cannot lose that. You're not just losing a great player on the field. You're losing the great mentality. You need that veteran. You need that on the field, especially if you go to the playoffs. You need guys who've been there before. And Patrick Peterson has been there playing the best receivers. You need those guys. You cannot sit there and go with other guys who've never been there before and things change. You need to look to that veteran. Remember Charles Woodson, how amazing this guy was? Woodson, you needed him in the playoffs. Even when he lost a little bit of a step, this guy was still phenomenal. Just the voice, having that guy in the locker room was terrific. To me, Patrick Peterson gives you that mentality, that tough mentality. Let me know what you guys think, man. But I just love it because this is another video that I've been talking about Patrick Peterson way long ago. And again, this has come up, which I love. I love talking about it before and then seeing it come to life. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.